Welcome to the Tone Jerks podcast. I'm your host, Brian Gower, and my normal co-host, Kyle McIntyre. He is not here. He is on vacation. But do not worry. I had three good friends to help me out this week. I had Adam Rohr from the Let 'Em Hear podcast. I had Kevin Equitz from Equitz Guitars and Sean Wright from Lollygagger FX. All decided to, help a brother out. We tackled different topics, and episodes ran a little longer than I expected, but that's good. We got into some good conversation. So instead of having like an almost 2 hour long podcast, we're going to split it up. So have 3 episodes. So enjoy this one. And there's 2 others to, go on to make this a complete episode number 47. All right. So we have here, back the return of Lollygagger, Sean Wright. Say hello to the beautiful people.
Hello, beautiful people.
Sean,
beautiful people.
Sean's back. He's going to make all the wrong things right.
We're opposite.
Yeah, we're opposite. Cool. So, thank you so much for taking the time to fucking do this with me.
Hey, anytime, buddy. Anytime.
Definitely. So, let's, we got, a topic or so that we're going to, chomp on. But before we get into that, Sean, what is new? What is grooving in your world? What is shaking?
What is shaking? Today I got a package in the mail, and one that I was kind of looking forward to. I had got a custom harness from Mr. Sean Arbo of Gun Street Wiring Shop.
Shout out, yeah,
very shout out. And he did a custom thing for me, and he actually was very cool and gave me some insight on some stuff. So old dogs can learn new tricks.
Yeah, nice.
And he suggested a few things. My thing was that why Fender continuously fucking does this, I have no idea. But the no tone knob on the fucking bridge pickup, it just blows my mind. How
that's where you need it.
Oh, I know, no shit. So I've been wanting to do it for a while, and I talked to him, and he's like, "Hey man, I can do this and this," and I'm like, "Cool." And then he offered another really cool little mod, and I'll keep that a secret. I'm going to do a live stream wire up on it, and
very cool.
Yeah, once I get it finished up, and then maybe in a day or so after that, I'll do a little demo of what it's going on and all that stuff. But yeah, so it was I didn't expect it today, so it was kind of a nice little surprise. And other than that, that's it for me, man. What about you?
Not a whole lot. I think just missing my buddy Kyle.
Do you get tear tracks on your pillows?
Yeah. It's
crying yourself to sleep every night.
I'm like, he's out there having a ball, fucker.
Oh,
but no,
especially over at Blake's house. He must have fell down a rabbit hole so fucking hard. He probably broke his arm.
Yeah, it was like I was looking. I'm like, oh man, all those pedals. I'm like, dude. There's no MXRs up in this bitch. You got.
I was laughing. Blake caught so much shit for that. And I think he said something like, "I got a MXR power supply floating around here somewhere."
Yeah,
yeah, not much MXR in his shop.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. So, but yeah, not a whole lot. Just kind of keep on keeping on. Work, same old shit. But we're here. We're having cracking open a beer. I'm actually drinking a legit one in your honor here.
You've been drinking lots of legit beers, and so is Mr. Kyle too.
Trying to step it up a little bit,
You old Instagram. Don't get too sophisticated on me. You got to drink that Mickey's once in a while.
Yeah, we'll throw back some Kirkland lights for you.
yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah.
What are you drinking tonight?
Yeah, I'm drinking Latitude 33. It's from kind of north of San Diego Vista. They're a local brewery. They're doing a hazy IPA, so it's called Lost Cities. It's a little citrusy deal. Not too bad. It's a 6.3, so it's it'll get you there, but not too heavy.
Very nice. I am drinking the seasonal Lagunitas Brown Sugar.
There you go. Nice, cool. Well, a cheers. Over the internet to you. Cool. Cheers. Cheers, man. All right. So I had a topic that I wanted to, throw your way, and I think it'd be cool to get your take on it since you're you're in the industry, you're building these pedals and you're doing the damn thing.
Sure.
So, as far as it goes, utilitarian, boring type of gear versus like the fancy boutique gear. Where do you draw the line? Like, what do you want boutique, and what do you want simple and just to work? Let's say like fancy wood pedal boards, boutique strings, cables, the picks, all that type of shit. So where do you draw the line? Where do you think like the money should be spent, and like how, and yada yada?
Okay, well, this, and again, like anything that comes out of my mouth, it's all opinion. So let's, caveat that.
Definitely.
Also, I'd like to throw in this list too, vintage gear. Because, there's some people that swear by their, Univibe from 1969. I got to bring it, because it's my tone and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's like guitars too. It's like people like they swear like, well, this is an old Silhouette Sears guitar. I'm like, no, those guitars suck.
Yes, exactly.
Like they were shit back then. They're still shit, and now they're old shit.
or there's stuff that's just unpractical. Like I'm going to bring my my '68 Marshall Plexi. Sure, because you're only going to get tone out of it if you crank it up to about 8, and the first 3 rows are going to flip you off every time you play a chord.
And this bar full of like 30 people are going to be pissed.
Yes, exactly.
It's going to be a smoke break.
It doesn't matter. So let's hit on it, man.
Go for it.
Okay, my thing, and as much as to me, guitars are tools. I've always kind of felt that way about them. However, the tools that work the best, use them. So I wholeheartedly believe that if you're going to be playing out, you need to have a good guitar, and not just like, oh, this guitar is really good for my house because I'm not bumping into things and stuff. I mean, like, you are a proponent, and they should pay you for you talking about the damn Evertune system in your guitars, but you have been on the road enough, you've played out enough to understand that the last thing I want to fucking do is be out of tune.
Yeah.
And so you kind of address that in that way. And you guys, I know as well as Kyle, you guys, when you are out there playing, you play professional guitars. And just because Jack White can go up and play a Dan Electro or a Sears, whatever, that's fine. He has techs that he pays thousands of dollars to that work on that equipment for him and keep it running. You're not Jack White. So you should be playing if you're a Strat guy, you should be playing an American Standard Strat, and you should have it professionally set up, or you should understand how to professionally set it up so that you're ready to roll when you're out there and you're not fiddle-dicking with tuning, or you're like, oh, these frets are sharp and I didn't, you should have your gear ready to go, and it should be, in a guitar sense, it should be, as close to the top of the line as you can afford. Obviously, to me, the cutoff, and this is just, again, my opinion, you shouldn't be paying more. You don't need to pay more than $2,000 for a good stage guitar. I mean, you're in the $1,500 range, $1,000 range. You're getting good quality easily. The next thing, and then this will surprise people. I know it will. Effects, get effects that don't break.
Yes.
So, and I have to say, I know my friends, the ones that are in the community that I know roll out, they build really good quality stuff. But that is not the case all the time in the boutique world of effects. There's something to be said for a JHS or a Boss, or, I mean, these guys build stuff that, people know they're going to throw it against a wall. So I think you need to do the trade-off of, do I want this to break, or do I want this to have my special tone because this is the only pedal that'll do it?
Yeah.
And I'm not against that. I think if you have a pedal that is your tone and you need to have that, that's fine. I just think that you have to take in consideration the area you're playing in. If you're in a bar and it's loud and the acoustics are shitty, no one's going to hear a fucking difference between Run Rabbit Run or your Univi.
Yeah.
Okay. They're going to sound really close. You're not going to discern any major differences. And in that case, I would get, a McCaffrey Run Rabbit Run. It's a great pedal, and it's built well, and it's boutique, but it's built like a commercial pedal. So to me, it's about shit that doesn't break.
Yeah, I think it's more about, definitely like the dependability of things too. That's really taken into consideration when buying gear, and like gear that you're going to gig out with, because it's like, you don't want to like have a shit show, because there's so many variables of playing a show that you don't want your gear a part of it.
No.
You just want it to fucking work. And if it sounds good, that's part of it too.
Yeah, if you can eliminate as many easy things out of that equation, why wouldn't you? You know? But no, I totally, there's some great boutique stuff out there. And again, unless you're a Kenny Wayne Shepherd or somebody like that, if you want to bring your clon on stage, that's fine. But I think I repeated the story before, but I saw on a board where a guy was doing like the biggest ball walking I think I've ever heard from a dude, when he said, when I'm gigging my 3-night, gigs a night, on breaks, I have to pick up my 2 clowns off the floor and carry them around with me because I don't want anyone to steal them.
Oh yeah, because people would.
This isn't like a big gig. This is like he's playing in a bar kind of type deal.
Oh geez, yeah.
Yeah, to me, leave them at home.
Yeah,
no one knows the difference. No one. I mean, you're there to say, look at my shit.
Yeah, just get like a Tumnus or Soul Food or something like that. It's gonna be fucking absolutely fine.
If you're even halfway there in that kind of a setting, you're all the way there.
Yeah.
Because hey, how many places have you played where the PA sounds like absolute shit?
Yeah, and you can't even really hear yourself anyways.
You can't hear yourself. You're not going to hear the nuances of the special diodes that are in there's a degree of just use your brain,
Yeah. Just you need to focus more on the job, which is like playing the song, as opposed to like the gear. But then again, it's like you dance the fine line of like, that's what is fun about this, is the whole gear thing. It's like, shit, where do I draw that line?
Well, yeah, like with me, I when I said I would not bring any vintage stuff out, playing out, unless I'm playing Boston Garden or something like that. I'm not going to bring any vintage stuff out. No one's going to appreciate it. I'm not going to be able to fine tune it enough for me to hear much of a difference.
Yeah.
So I'm not. But the money I think you need to put the most money into is your amp.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm wholehearted. Even if you have a dog for a guitar, and let's say maybe it's not the most tuneful guitar, but it stays in tune. If you play that through a really good amplifier, you're 75% there.
Yeah, because that's like amp is doing heavy lifting. That's it. Yeah. Like amp is doing, like, if it's your clean platform, like you want to make sure it takes your pedals well. If that is your main drive thing, then you want it to be a good sound.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you want it to have a good feel. People. As a player, I know people don't really get this, but as a player, there's as much of a feel when you play through an amplifier that's really good as opposed to just the tone and the sound you're hearing. You know? If you're not clicking with your amplifier, I don't care how good it sounds, you're going to be off. And so I'm a full believer of having a really good backline. You ever hear those people say, they give you those what if, or if you had to choose between a great amp and a shitty guitar and a great guitar and a shitty amp.
Yeah.
People that pick the great guitar, I just want to bitch slap them. I'm just like, I got this PRS and I'm playing it through a crate. I'm happy with that.
No, you're not, you idiot.
You're not. You're not.
Yeah, so you can look cool for your Instagram photo, but we all know that you sound like shit.
Right. It's like I will pick a Fender Squire, over some, like a diesel, having a diesel in the background, or some a satellite amp or
Yeah,
something that's
satellite, Bogner, something like that, you know?
yeah,
It's like, and like for me, that was like me for a long time. I was running a Squire Strat that I put like, like locking tuners and like a humbucker in, but it was a Squire. I was running that through like a Mesa half stack for years. And people
yeah,
are like, and people who were like, I'd go to guitar shops and like, no, dude, you did it right. Because you had a
yeah,
guitar that sounds fine, but you had did a bitchin' amp. Because like I guess guess what? That's gonna sound way better than the dude who spent like $2,000 on a Fender or a Gibson, and then they're playing it out of a a
yeah.
Spider or something.
Yes, some anemic amplifier. I mean, because I mean, and it's so funny when you have to put it. I mean, I know part of it's feel. Someone's like, "Hey, this has got a great neck and stuff," but when you figure the sound that comes out of a pickup,
Yeah.
you can't hear that. Okay, so the 80% of that sound is coming out your amplifier.
Hmm.
Why would you not have a great amplifier? I mean, really.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
and the thing that's great now is that now that the arms race is over with the 100 watt and 150 watt
Hmm.
amplifiers, you can get these really great 15 watt and 30 watt amplifiers that you can tune in really well that aren't overpowering. And if you got a great PA, you can mic it. So you're also not having to schlep 150 pounds worth of gear to get on the stage
Yeah,
when you can just pick up your combo amp that's 40 or 50 pounds,
and it sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes it's simple mostly. I mean, most combos are, for the most part, are like a tone, volume, gain,
Yeah, maybe like a three
overdrive.
band or something like that.
Yeah,
Maybe.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even now with the new move toward more platform type amps,
Yeah.
a lot of those are volume and tone.
Exactly. Yeah, and you get most of your stuff out of the pedals and stuff like that
Yeah.
too. But it's like it's a good sounding amp. You know.
Yep. I mean, as long as you have a good bass, in sense of having a good sound base, the rest of it will just flow through.
Yeah.
But there are people, I will see these boards where somebody will just like go on and on and on about the $4,000 Gibson, that they just got
Yeah.
or this stuff. I mean, that's fine that you have the money if you want to do that. And if they don't put down people who can't afford that or don't have that, that's perfectly fine. That's
Yeah.
cool. You got disposable income. I don't have a problem with people working really hard for what they do, getting what they really want.
Hmm.
My problem is when people look down on other people
Who? Yeah.
for what they don't have or what they're having to make do with.
Yeah. It's like don't make your status of what you've bought.
Ugh.
Like make it of what you do and like what you create.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like there's no reason. There's enough douchebags in this world. There's no reason
We
why
don't
we
need
have,
more. Yeah.
especially in the music area. We don't need that.
Especially
And,
yeah, because music is meant to be fun and just create shit and like your brother sisterhood. It's like we're all creating something good, and it's like you don't need like a bunch of fuckheads just like I bought this like $5,000 thing. I'm in a bunch of debt, and I still suck dick when I play.
yeah. It's like, hey, watch me play "Smoke on the Water." And I'm like, no, no, thank you.
Yeah,
But if you have the money and you're cool about stuff, hey, more power to you. I mean, I'm the first to tell you, our stuff isn't cheap. So we try to make it the very best we can. So when somebody does pony up, they're not feeling regret from what they get.
yeah, and that's partially of like you're backing your shit up. With you guys when you're selling stuff, it's like I bought into Sean and Lollygagger and like what they have to offer. It's like I'm not just being like I'm not just throwing money somewhere and just for like a status symbol. I mean, yeah, they're fucking bitchin' looking pedals, but they also deliver. They sound good. You could play that like at the biggest arena. You could play like on tour with like Green Day or whatever, or whoever you're doing. I'm like, and then or your local club bar, smoky bar in front of like 20 people. It's still gonna sound good and like be there when you need it. That's what's cool.
Yeah, or your man room. I mean, my buddy Jimmy there.
Yeah.
He was absolutely right. I sent him a pedal. Something happened in between, me testing it and him getting it. And my first response was, all right, let's see if there's something we can look at here real quick, something that's not, silly and we can figure it out. After we went through those, it wasn't 5 minutes where I had his address and we had one packed and ready to ship it out before he even shipped me my other one.
Exactly. That's what's fucking cool. So it's like you're not. It's not like that's where like the line is. I'm like, okay, I'm not buying something just utilitarian, but I'm buying something that actually I don't know. Your pedal, especially the Canalia, is kind of like a unique pedal. It's a utilitarian kind of thing. It's like, oh, if you want to get this like the sound of your amp, but like as you're saying, you're adding the gain stage. I'm like, you can't always get that from a pedal. So it's like you're almost maybe like, this is something I'm buying into, but it looks bitchin' too.
Well, yeah, I mean, and the whole thing, like I said before, was the wood thing was just to get attention, but the whole thing, was about the circuit, and we just knew there are a lot of guys who dig their amp, and they didn't want to fuck with it too much, and we were just offering them something that would help them. But the thing that's great about fuzz and the thing that's great about overdrive, and even distortion is that everybody has their own flavor.
Uh-huh.
And that's another thing too. I used to do this, and goddamn, I'm guilty. And since it's been a while, but I've kind of gotten less judgmental about shit. But you know what? Don't yuck someone else's yum. I mean, if they like, I don't particularly. I think it's not any mystery or secret that I don't like big muffs. They don't do anything for me, but there are thousands of people out there that do love them.
Yeah.
So other than me just cracking a joke with people that I know, I don't dog on people.
And it's especially it's like one of my favorite lines is like Johnny Ray always says it's like, okay, more for you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I don't want it, so you can have whatever I would have taken. Or it's like if people say like, oh, I hate what you like. I'm like, oh, that's okay, more for me.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I like, line 6 spiders. Okay, more for me. People don't like them. Whatever it could be. And I think that's the kind of greatest like analogy that people are like, oh shit, well I just squashed that beef right there.
Yeah, it's like, wow, that guy kind of looks like a douche now. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
There's always the fun thing when you're with people and you're joshing people and fucking around with them. But there are people that have like stuff that I personally wouldn't play. It's not my thing, but can make it do incredible things. So again, I think it has more to do with what gear works for people and their styles.
Yeah.
So I'm a lot more accepting about that than I used to be. I used to be pretty judgmental about stuff like that, even before I was building stuff.
And it's also like, because, I mean, there's so many styles of music and style of people who are playing. And I'm like, well, that's what's cool is because there's so many companies doing so many different things. And like, even like products that like I would never use or even think about using, I'm like, wow, shit. Yeah. I mean, I would never use, a ring mod or something like that, but that's cool. People are fucking killing it. People love that shit now. And then
Flanger's another one. I don't personally have much of a use for it, but fucking A, if Eddie didn't make it sound cool, so
yeah, definitely.
What do I?
Yeah, like Police and shit like that. I'm like, yeah, fucking yeah. If they can use it, give it to them. But I guess to bring it back to like, as far as utilitarian stuff, I'm like, for me, I'm like, I guess to hard stance, I'm like, pedal boards, I like it just plain and simple. I need it to work. I need it to be easy. I do not care what it looks like. That's the pedal board itself, not how it's laid out, how you put your pedals on there. I'm like,
not the construction or anything. Just
I just like the construction. I'm like, pedal train, and people are like, pedal train are a bunch of dickheads or whatever. I'm like, they work. I don't care if they're cheap. You can just drill a power supply right onto that thing. They work. I don't care. And
and I have my good buddy Spencer at West Coast Pedal Boards. I mean, he made beautiful pedal boards. There's, they're great. They're great to look at and stuff. I have one of his boards, but I got a Tolex one.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly fine for me. I don't need to have the really fancy stuff, but there are people that don't need to have really fancy wooden pedals either.
Yeah.
So,
and that's why I always look at it. When, especially with people have like, you see those nice fucking boards, and I'm like, oh man, it's like, creation. I'm like, man, those look so sick. I would never use it though. But I'm like, those are for other people. That's where you take the stance of like, okay, that's not for you, Brian. That's for somebody else.
Yeah, I totally agree. Although, John, he makes pretty standardized stuff too.
Yeah.
Which I think sometimes they get saddled with the, the ultra mega cool woodboard thing. They do really utilitarian stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a good example of a country or a company that can straddle both sides.
Yeah, just put feet in both waters, maybe.
Yeah, why not? I mean, absolutely. I mean, we do that to a lesser degree with a Canalia, us having our standard model, and then we have our special model.
Yeah.
The standard model is like, hey, I don't want to pay the extra bones for it to be flamed, and I just dig the look, and I just want it to sound great. Oh, yeah. Cool. We got this thing for you, But no, I totally agree. Me personally, I don't have a use for that, but because man, my thing is like I think I brought this up as a topic on 60 Cycle about would you bring expensive gear out to gig for a bar gig? Me, there's no way I would. I mean, why would I? I mean, if I spent a lot of money, let's say I treated myself, yeah, I'm 50, I'm gonna buy this one guitar I always wanted, and for whatever reason it costs a lot of money. That thing's never leaving my house.
Yeah.
Unless I'm playing like in some sedate, pavilion somewhere where it's a bunch of geriatric people,
a bunch of blue hairs,
Yes, where I'm not worried about some dickhead jumping on stage, snapping the headstock off my, SG or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I was playing, I have guitars that are specifically, these are road dogs.
Yeah.
They are set up to play great. But if I turn around and smack the head of my amp and my headstock doesn't break and I'm still relatively in tune, I don't give two shakes about it.
Yeah. And I think just having something that's not so precious, I think that's the biggest thing too. It's like, you have guitars that you like, but I'm like, you don't, because it's not that you don't like them, but I'm like, if something happened to them, like obviously if something got swiped, that'd be the fucking worst, But if something, got chipped or dinged or whatever, it's like, hey, I'm not gonna lose sleep over it.
Yeah, to me, I'm not too precious about that, but I mean, again, I dings and stuff. If I have a piece of gear that I don't want destroyed, yeah, that might bum me out a little bit. But like you said, I would hate myself if I brought a Strat and it was like my mom bought it for me when I was 15 or whatever, and then it got swiped. That guitar may not be worth a lot of money, but it's worth its weight in gold and memories or something.
Definitely.
So, I think there's a little bit of, you need to be responsible in terms of make wise decisions based on what you're there to do, not what you're there to show off.
Yeah. And it's like, I think with some of that too, I think that's like a big thing with like, I don't know. I was like, a lot of my guitars, like they're good. But they're not anything that I'm like, if it got like dinged up or something, because I'm like, I have two Gibsons with broken necks. They've been, repaired or whatever. And to me, I'm like, well, that's something that happened. And now
they're roadworthy now because now they're glued. They'll never break again.
They'll be a lot stronger now. And so and those are the ones that I'm like, you know what? Put Evertunes in them. And people are like, I was going to kill the resale value. I'm like, they're fucking already broken, dude. And they weren't, it's like they were maybe $1,000 and now they're worth less. But I'm like, they're worth more to me now because they don't go out of tune. So fuck it. I don't give a shit. And so I just gave them to Kyle. I'm like, spray paint them with a can of Krylon, dude. And he's like, have at it.
No, I'm totally the same way. I don't, I don't get why you would. Yeah, that makes no sense to me. Why you would be so precious about something that you're. I mean, hey, let's be honest. You're going to battle when you're up there. I mean, essentially,
you don't know what's going to happen. You gotta like expect the unexpected, I guess.
Well, and here let's switch this up a little bit. So what's your opinion on like cables, picks, the all the accessories, tuners,
Yeah.
all that stuff? I mean, is that to you important to spend money on?
Sometimes, okay, I guess with cables, I am big on the warranties,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a big kerfuffle falling out with like was it Monster Cable? Because I bought a bunch of them over the years since I was a kid. Because I was like, lifetime warranty, lifetime warranty. You if you break it, you can return it. Da da da. They stopped doing that.
Yeah.
So I was like, God damn it! I'm stuck with these cables that are fine. But I'm like, if I break it, then I'm, whatever. And now that I'm like, okay, Kyle, he's soldering guy now. So if it broke, I could just get another thing and have him cut it and whatever. But I'm like, dude, I can't, like, the
You
whole,
don't want to have to do that.
yeah. And I'm like, the thing is, that's why I bought those damn things. And so now I'm like, okay, not like they need a shout out, but like the Sinusoid people, like I started buying their cables because I'm like, I'm almost certain something's going to happen to one of these cables. It's because we're bringing it on tour. We're throwing it in a van. We're either going, on tour or we're playing local shows, and we're playing at shit clubs. We're playing at big shows. We're playing, at parties or whatever. But I'm like, I'm going to probably fuck these things up. So I will get returned because I'm like, that's kind of, I think, what they're asking for. It's like when they're saying 100-year warranty. So bring it on, boys and girls. It's like, fuck these things up. See if you can do it. I'm like, I haven't yet. I haven't had anything mess up on me, but I'm like, I know that they have that guarantee, of like, 100 years. I'm like, that's something that like I buy into.
Well, yeah, definitely.
They look cool, and they have a lot of really cool custom options to make them look, custom to whatever you want. But I'm like, I care more about that, guarantee.
Well, and the thing is people go, well, how could they do that? Why would they do that? And the thing is that for every cable they have to replace, they have somewhat of a, where they set it up and like, okay, how much do you think somebody will buy again from us if we replace this cable? And they'll make their money back because the point is they want to
establish that trust, I guess.
Yeah, trust. It's like, hey, this is a business. We want to make money. However, we also want to make sure that your needs are taken care of. And if you are disappointed and they have not been taken care of, we're not even going to question. We're just going to replace that thing. And that gives them street cred, and it gives that peace of mind to the player. He's like, because, I mean, those cables are not cheap. Same thing with my buddy Hank at Rattlesnake. I mean, he builds really killer cables. I mean, he does really cool stuff too. And these guys are having to charge a little bit more because they're using really quality stuff. Yeah. So for you to come back as a customer, they have to know, or the customer needs to know that I know these guys will be here, so I don't mind spending the money. Yeah. Fly by night, no, fuck that. Because like you said, Monster got up and left.
Yeah. It left you in the lurch. So you're like, well, fuck, I don't want that to happen again.
No, definitely. And you have all the things to, I mean, it's bad enough when you have problems on stage or you're playing music or something. To have a bad cable, that's just a digging to kind of crawl in your side, like not, yeah. I mean, because that's such a dumb ass thing. I mean, it's truly a dumb, because first of all, it doesn't take space to bring extra cable. That's like guys who don't bring strings. Yes. It's like, it doesn't take any space. So to me, those kind of things are just like, ugh, are just cringeworthy. Yeah. So I guess one less thing I don't ever have to fucking worry about. I'm on board. I'm good.
Yeah. And then like, as far as like some of the other things, I guess like it's kind of preference as far as like strings and picks go. I just like find the ones that I like and I stick with them. It's like creature of habit when it comes to that. Although I recently switched to D'Addario NYXLs. Mm-hmm. They work great and they last longer than Ernie balls. I'm like, that's all I really care about. They don't have a guarantee or anything, but I'm like, oh, I've heard that they last longer. I tried them. They're like twice as much, but I'm like, oh, they do last as long. Perfect. And I can get them at the local guitar store or, order them online. I don't have to like go super boutique with them. And that's kind of my biggest thing. It's like with picks and strings, I'm like, I need to just go pick them up. I need to have that like instant, like, oh, I can get them like second day, or like I could just go to the store and pick them up. Cause I'm like, if we're like, say like, not that we tour regularly, but it's like at least like once a year. It's like sometimes you'll be in the like, okay, I got to go hit a Guitar Center. I need strings. I forgot them.
Yes.
Whatever. It's like I'll go pick up my NYXLs because I'm like, Guitar Center stocks them. I don't have to be like, oh well, normally I have these like handmade boutique green tea ones made with like yak back. I'm like, no. Like no. I like NYXLs. That's easy. I'm gonna dirty them up. I'm gonna break them, cut them, and replace them. I never get to a point. I tried to never get to a point where like I break strings and have to replace them. I will cut them before I play a show and put new ones on because I want them fresh. Or for recording, I'll cut them, put new ones on. I don't break strings often, but I'm like, I don't want to have to be like, oh no, I broke a string and now I'm screwed because my normal ones aren't available.
I totally agree with what you're saying. I'm on that bandwagon too. However, people like Gabriel Tenero doing handmade strings, you would be so surprised how somebody who's making handmade strings, how long they last,
mm-hmm.
how interesting and how complex the tones are on strings. So that would be strings, at least me personally, that I would have like in my studio or if I'm playing a close gig. Because one of the things that really sucks is if you're used to playing something and you're like, I really dig this, and now I have to change this piece of shit because I can't get that.
Because maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's like those strings are so good that you're like, oh shit, now I got to put some Ernie balls on because like they're $5, and you're like, it's like drinking the nice Lagunitas, and shit, tonight we're drinking Kirkland.
Yeah, and it really is something like that where, it's not even, it's very noticeable.
It'll get you, it'll get you there, but you're going to be, digging in your heels and bitching the whole way through it, but it'll still get you there.
Well, and that's the thing too. Obviously that's when you're going professional mode, but when you're having to settle for anything that's not what you normally use, the gig just quit being fun and now it's a job.
Yeah.
And that should never be, obviously it is at times, but that should never be the prime goal is I just need to get through this gig.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of, that really actually what you just said, it's like that really caps the whole thing off. It's like, if it something that you're used to and you like and enjoy, and especially like if it's pedals or if it's like, strings or pedal board or whatever, if it's something that you have to sacrifice and feel like you're phoning it in, you're like, all right, I'm phoning this in now. I don't have my strings. I don't have my pedals that I like because I'm used to that sound or feel or look or whatever. Then you're not going to play well. And so it just depends on, like, I think each person, what they really like.
Well, it's the guys that do fly gigs are the ones that just blow my mind.
Yeah.
A lot of them now have gotten to the point where their sound is in their very small pedal board.
Yeah,
like a Michael Landau or something, his sound is coming from his pedal board. And the guy, his backline are freaking Fender Blues Deluxes or DeVille, I think he uses. And he just uses a clean channel.
Yeah.
His thing is like, I can rely on this amp. I've used this amp on many gigs. So in that sense, totally, it's not a big deal. But if your tone is coming from like, I need to have a Marshall JCM 800, that is like the building blocks to my tone.
And then they give you like a deluxe reverb or something, then you're fucked.
Yeah, or it could even be something as fucked as, we got a mode 4 for you. It's like,
God
no,
damn it,
dude, no. It's a Marshall, yeah, but it's not what I'm, And
it's not the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, you got 4 channels of, I don't fucking want this. I want, like, my tone stack, my gain, and my master volume.
Yeah.
But that's when that could be. You know, people that do that are like they must go into like professional mode or something, or they're smiling and they look like they're having a great time and they fool the audience, and that's important. But they get off stage and they just I just need a bottle of whiskey and forget this night.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, I think we killed that one. Do you want to? I think we'll close it out here. Thank you so much for doing a quick. I guess it wasn't that quick, but thanks for doing a topic with me and filling in the void and co-hosting with me. But
anytime, buddy.
If people don't know Lollygagger FX, where can they check you out, Sean?
We are on the interweebs. We are on Facebook at Lollygagger FX. We are online at www.lollygaggerfx.com. We are on Instagram as Lollygagger_FX. And we are on all the boards on Facebook.
He's Sean Wright. You'll see him. He's in all the Facebook groups. He's in the Tone Jerks. He's always fucking shit up over there.
I try as much as I can, my friend.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Sean. Like, you are killing it, and thank you so much for coming out and helping me out.
Hey, anytime, buddy. Anytime for you and Kyle.
Definitely. Thank you. Before I close this out here, I just want to say thank you guys for tuning into the show. And if you guys, want to be a part of what we got going on, you guys can follow along on Instagram at The Tone Jerks and check us out on our Facebook group. Just search The Tone Jerks and you'll find it. And if you guys do like what you hear, or if you don't, you guys can leave a review on iTunes. Hopefully it's 5 stars, but even if it's not, your reviews, if you write something, we're going to read it on the air. We got a couple that we got recently, but I'm going to wait until my brother Kyle is here, and we're going to read them on the air. And if you guys really like what you hear, you guys can help support us on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. But if you guys double down to $2 a month, you guys get an extra episode every week. And at $5 a month, you guys get a discount on shirts, and we will send you some Plain Without a Pilot merch because we don't really have any Tone Jerk stuff right now. So just as a quick thank you, I wanted to give a shout out to all of our supporters. We have Co and Paul from the Flippin' Flippers podcast. We have Abe Newman. We have Michael Newman. We have Andrew Walsh. We have Will Lehue. We have Bruce Banana. We have Doug Christ, Doug Gann, Jamie Davis, Jason Fuzzmonger, Adam Rohr, from the Let 'Em Hear podcast. We have Jimmy Bowers. We have Johnny Ray. We have Doug King. We have Joseph from Like My Pedals. We have Leon Wright from Pelican Noiseworks. And then we have Digger from Fatfoot Effects. And this is the last week of that pedal contest that we're doing on Instagram. We're giving away Fatfoot Effects pedal. It's a boost and drive all in one. Some really cool artwork. And then go check out our Instagram for all the details. You got to repost some shit, tag some friends, the normal Instagram contest type shit. And then we have Sean Arbo from Gun Street Wiring Shop. He's out there hanging out with Kyle, and I'm a little jealous. And then lastly, but not leastly, we have a new one. Steve Mike from a local band here in San Diego, Hardly Human. Yeah, he has joined us on Patreon. I think that's really cool. Local support is cool. Kind of, you put this out there, you don't know who's going to listen, and the fact that local bands that we play out with and that we watch are listening to the show and are into it enough to support us. All right, I'm just rambling on here by myself, like a crazy person. But Kyle's going to be back next week. He's going to have a bunch of stories to tell. We will see ya. We love ya. Bye.